Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Adam Barlam. Adam is the CTO and co-founder of Decentraweb. Adam, thanks for joining us today.
Hey Wayne, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Look, we go way back. I think I was just looking up. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago when we did our first podcast interview with a prior project. But you're always one thing I always loved about you, man, is you're always building stuff that has practical use to your not just people in crypto, but to your everyday person, right? So I definitely want to dive into what you're doing now with Decentraweb and all the great things there. But before we jump into that, man, can you tell anybody listening a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I've been in the software engineering space, primarily the open source space, for a number of years. I come from a Linux and open source and Nix-based background. I worked for Intel for nearly 7 years as a software validation engineer for storage products, so like SATA, Ultra 320, Ultra 160, SCSI at the time. And then I moved on and I was actually a senior architect at GoDaddy for a number of years, creating horizontally scaled solutions for storage solutions for GoDaddy for internal and external clients. And then I moved on and I started doing performance engineering there as well. So kind of like optimizing hardware bills and making sure that it could scale horizontally for all the clients that are using it. And that actually gave me a really good understanding of DNS and domain names and how centralized the entire system really is. And it really gave me the idea for Decentraweb while I was working at GoDaddy.
Nice, nice. And you've had some other projects in the space, right? Do you want to touch on any of those? I think what was the first one when I interviewed you? It was BravoCoin.
It was
wasn't
BravoCoin. Yeah, so BravoCoin was like TripAdvisor / Yelp on blockchain. We actually had like a good amount of users, and then the pandemic happened, and all these restaurants and everything closed down, so people couldn't really leave reviews anymore because there's nothing to review. So that kind of sheltered that project. And that's actually when I started creating, Decentraweb. So Decentraweb is essentially on-chain DNS. So we're moving. Currently DNS is very centralized. It's run by domain names are controlled by ICANN, which is basically an organization that consists of multiple companies that are all part of this organization. All the big boys like Amazon and GoDaddy and all of them, that are all part of ICANN. And essentially, what ICANN does is they release top-level domains. They call them TLDs. So your .coms, your .nets, your .orgs. They started in 2016. They released like .photography, .blog, .casino, so on and so forth. But the main thing is that like your everyday user or mom and pop doesn't really have the capability to create their own top-level domain. If you want to create your own top-level domain, you can submit a non-refundable $300,000 application fee to ICANN and see if you'll get approved. They have a very low approval rate. It's something like they deny like 99% of the applications, and you just lose your money with the application fee. And if you do somehow get approved, there's a maintenance fee, like a $10,000 or $15,000 per month maintenance fee to keep it going. So, it's very cost prohibitive for the average Joe. Like, I'm not going to be doing that. Small businesses aren't going to be doing that. Really, it's going to be restricted to like, your Microsofts, your Amazons, your GoDaddies, so on and so forth. And, the internet's an open system and we wanted to change that around. And, blockchain is the perfect opportunity for that. So, what we've done with Decentraweb essentially is that we've moved DNS from a centralized system into a decentralized system and put it on the Ethereum and Polygon blockchain. So now you can register domain names, subdomains, regular full top-level domains, and they're actually hosted and located on the Ethereum and Polygon blockchain. So if you're doing like a DNS lookup, instead of querying your local ISP's DNS, you actually will do an on-chain lookup to see where that domain resolves. And we have a number of use cases for these domain names. So not only can you use them like a traditional domain name, like for like a website, or we're going to start working on email and stuff like that, or even a wallet address, but you can actually use them as your decentralized chat identifier. So we think that moving forward, communication, the technology is evolving. Communication should be instantaneous, and people are going to start identifying themselves via Web3 IDs and Web3 handles. And I'm here to talk about that today, of how we've kind of taken this idea called DecentraChat, where Web3 users and blockchain users can now utilize their wallet address, their ENS domain, like a .eth domain, a Decentraweb domain like .blockchain Wayne or .dweb, or even a FIO domain. Now we've recently integrated, so you can have blockchain at Wayne, and have these all as your chat identifier to chat online. So previously, with WhatsApp and Signal and all these other projects, it was very OPSEC. It would compromise your OPSEC, right? You had to submit a phone number to them, or you had to give them an email address or something like that. And when you're sharing this information with other users, you're compromising your privacy, especially in the Web3 and the crypto space. The one thing that we really don't want to do is give random people a phone number, because you can easily get SIM swapped. A lot of those phone numbers are associated with your Gmail or exchanges or, some sort of two-factor authentication. And it can be detrimental for your security and for, eventually your crypto funds. So, what we've done is we've removed that component in this chat system in DecentraChat and replaced it, with your Ethereum wallet address, with your decentralized domain name from DWeb, from FIO, from ENS. And now you can use that to chat with people online. Anyone on the blockchain you can chat with now. And just give them that address. And, you can stay anonymous completely. You can have, like a 0x wallet address. You can be identified and have, like adam.dweb is my chat handle on there. You can be an identified user, or you can be like a pseudo-anonymous user, and have like some sort of a handle, that you'd use like normally on like Twitter or something like that. So we really feel like, this is the future of communication. This is the future, of privacy and OPSEC. And, we've kind of taken this to the new level. And what we've done is, we've actually forked Signal and the Signal project. Signal is an open source protocol. They use very strong encryption. WhatsApp actually uses the same encryption as Signal. Facebook Messenger recently upgraded, and they're now using the same encryption as Signal. I believe iMessage now is using the same encryption. So everything is end-to-end encrypted, and it actually uses your public-private key pair to sign these messages. So it's very, very secure. We don't know any of the messages that are going back and forth. Like, it traverses through all of our systems, but everything's encrypted until it hits the user's end device, and then their keys will go ahead and decrypt those messages.
Nice, man. And that's important, because you're right. I mean, I understand why they use phone numbers in the past, because you want to make sure that's not just a bunch of bot accounts. And typically a phone number, it's a little bit more than just creating a free account, right? It's that extra step. Emails is even a lower barrier, right? Because anybody can create 1,000 fake email addresses. But yeah, having a Web3 identifier takes it to another level to where you can save that, not have to share that personal data, and also just be able to log in, because chances are you're not going to have someone create a bunch of bot accounts with the Web3 identifier, especially if it's something they have to go in and register. In many cases, pay for, whether it's a few dollars or more. It prevents somebody just being able to easily create 10,000 bot accounts or something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our main focus is that, especially being in the Web3 space, I remember going to multiple crypto conferences, right, and sharing my Signal information with, another vendor there, another user there. And, I always give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know if they have malicious intent, or I don't know if their system is secure and they're going to get hacked. And then all of a sudden they know my personal phone number that's associated with Signal, and then that gets leaked in some, black market sale or something like that. Or, or you give that number to Binance or another exchange, and then they get hacked. So, giving out your phone number is just horrible OPSEC. Especially, like I said, in our industry, when so much stuff is tied to your phone number from a two-factor authentication standpoint, and phishing attacks and everything else that goes on where they target you directly. There's countless users I hear about that, receive some SMS message that claims to be from Coinbase because, their phone number got leaked, and then they click on the link and they give them their seed words, or they log in, or they give them a two-factor code or something like that, and all of a sudden their account gets drained. So, that's just that's an old, antiquated system, that really needs to be remedied, and, that's what we've done with DecentraChat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you, man, I'm looking for an alternative, so we've got to kind of figure out together how to move people from Signal and Telegram into DecentraChat, because Telegram's another one where it's overloaded, and there's so many fake accounts in there.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I get so much spam on there. Telegram is another one that requires your phone number. And then, the stupidest thing that Telegram does is, by default, that your phone number is public to anyone that searches your name or anyone that can message you, unless you actually go into the settings, into the privacy settings, and say, hey, I don't want to share my phone number. So I don't know why that's enabled by default on there, but many people, I'm sure, are harvesting phone numbers on Telegram. Telegram is rife with scammers and spammers and bots and just I run a couple of Telegram channels for our different projects, and the amount of scammers that are on there that impersonate operators, and then they message a user claiming to be support, and then these poor users somehow click on a link or allow access to some smart contract or give them their seed words, or something like that, and then their account is compromised. So we've taken it to the next level. You can't impersonate someone and claim the same exact wallet address or same exact domain name or something like that, because then you'd have to sign with the public-private key pair, and that's nearly impossible. So we've taken security to the next level. We've enabled some other features in DecentraChat that we think is very helpful for the Web3 crowd. We want DecentraChat we want people to divert themselves from Discord, from Telegram, from these other applications, and move into DecentraChat, because it's a Web3 native application. You have the ability to, for instance, token gate or domain gate your group chats. So for instance, you can have a FIO group chat on there, and you could say, hey, the only people that can join this chat room are people that own FIO domains or people that own FIO tokens, and they need to hold 500 tokens, 1,000 tokens, whatever that number may be. And you can even add an or statement, say, okay, you need to have a FIO domain and you need to have 500 tokens, or you need to have 1 ETH and you need to have 1,000 FIO, or you need to hold a Bored Ape Yacht Club, and 2 ETH to get into this this group. So it allows you to kind of lock down your communities, really, only have a community-specific group chat, and eliminate all the spammers and scammers and people that exist on these other systems. And when you start to implement these types of security solutions into your chat, it makes it very, very difficult for these scammers and monetarily prohibitive for them to get on. For instance, if you have a group chat and you're like, you need to hold $10 in FIO to get into this group chat. And then say a scammer does it. They buy their $10 in FIO. They're like, I'm going to get in their FIO group chat. And then you ban them, right? You ban them and you ban that wallet. Well, then they need to buy another $10 of FIO to get back in. And, they're not going to do that. Like, it's all a game of probability with these guys. They send out tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of messages, and they hope that, 0.001% of the people are going to click on this link, or they're going to fall for this scam, and that's right. That's how they make money. So if we can kind of take away those attack vectors, and eliminate that I think that's great moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you. So one question about Decentraweb and your TLDs. This is a question I had actually personally for a while. So. Obviously I understand the resolving, right? Because that's kind of where there's overlap in how Decentraweb works and FIO works, is resolving to wallet addresses. And I think that's really the main overlap, but we're not focusing on like TLDs. So what would the process be if somebody wants to take a TLD that they have, something that they buy from Decentraweb, and they want to build a website around that? Is that something that's possible now, or do you need someone else to basically integrate some kind of resolver to map?
So that's 100% doable right now. So you can build it like a traditional website. You can host the website on traditional web hosting. You can host it on like your HostGator, your GoDaddy, a personal web server, or you can even host it on like a decentralized storage system like IPFS. And then basically we have a DNS GUI. User interface that you can interact with and interface with, and it's much like you'd see, in your GoDaddy GUI or your Namecheap GUI, where you log into it, you can specify an IP address to resolve to, you can specify an IPFS hash to resolve to if you want to go that route. And the one thing that kind of changes, in terms of accessing the website is that there's two ways to access these websites, right? So we have built a Web 2 to a Web 3 bridge. So if, say, a user, doesn't have Web 3 resolvers installed, or they don't have the plugins installed or anything like that, they can use a Web 2 to Web 3 bridge, kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with like eth.limo, like Vitalik posts a lot, right? He has a blog that goes to his vitalik.eth.limo address. And then that does a redirect over to the IP address and the Web 2 counterpart. So we have something like that. We call it our Web 2 to Web 3 bridge. It's called dwebs.2. And basically any TLD that you register, any sublevel domain that you register, you can make it automatically resolve resolve through the Web 2 to Web 3 bridge. Or if you want to, you can update your DNS servers to support our resolvers within all the browsers supported. So basically, you can put in a custom resolver, and what that does is that pings our network of DNS servers. And actually, we're soon to release the ability so that anyone within the community can start running these servers as well. So we want to fully decentralize this process even more, and that allows users to access these Web3 domains that they've registered. And our ultimate goal, what we've done is we've actually forked Google's DNS server daemon, and we've added support for Web3 queries on that. So and it supports Web2. So essentially, a query can go out. If it's a Web2 query, it knows to contact ICANN and root servers and go down the traditional route. It knows all the Web3 TLDs. So if it's a Web3 request, it knows to query and do an on-chain lookup. So what we've done is we've created these daemons that support this, and our main goal is to really get support from ISPs, from your Cloudflares, from Google, so on and so forth, and so that users don't need to, implement custom resolvers within their browser or install a Chrome or Firefox plugin or something like that. And it would be very native. It would be like, how you're browsing traditional web.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's something that I think is going to be like the real key to seeing, I think, the popularity of this spread outside of just people already in Web3 or people that are like domainers that are already looking at Web3 domains, when those they don't have to add those extra resolvers, and they can type it in and resolve. Another question about Decentraweb that I thought was important to cover is, I mentioned kind of the similarities between what you do in FIO, but I'm thinking more in terms of, okay, ENS uses .eth and Unstoppable has a bunch of dot extensions. What separates DWeb from those ENS and Unstoppable domains? I think that's probably the two that most people know about. Obviously,
yep, absolutely.
You're coming on the scene. I know when I Google it now, I see DWeb is right up there in the search results. So, what are some differences there?
So the main difference is with like ENS and Unstoppable. Let's first chat about ENS. ENS gives you a subdomain, right? So they control the root domain .eth, and then you register like a subdomain like blockchainwayne.eth or something like that. So you have control. That's an NFT. You have full control over blockchainwayne.eth, but you're a subdomain. You're not a top-level domain. They have control of the root domain .eth. Unstoppable is very, very similar. They have they started out, I think, with like 8 domains, and now I don't know, maybe they're up to like 14 or 13 or something like that. They're really not decentralized. They fully control the contracts. They can rescind your domain or the contract at any point in time, and they actually did this like a year or a year and a half ago. So they had the .coin domain where you can register your own .coin subdomain, and then there was another project that I guess I don't know if they sued them or there was some sort of conflict that went on, and essentially Unstoppable was like, oh, we're going to stop offering these .coin domains. Anyone who has a .coin domain right now, it's just not going to work. We're just like removing the functionality and taking it away. And they didn't give you a refund. They're like, we're just going to give you credit on our system. You can go register some other domain. Right. And I mean, that's not decentralization. That's decentralization theater is what I like to call it. So their solution we've never been too thrilled with. They're actually engaging in patent trolling right now. That's like the latest news that's going on in this industry, is that they've taken a lot of the technology from ENS, and they've actually tried to patent it and even mentioned ENS in the patents. So now ENS is, I believe, countersuing them because Unstoppable will apply for patent after patent after patent, and eventually they actually got one pushed through. So that's kind of the issue that with emerging technology is that the USPTO, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, doesn't fully understand this technology. So sometimes these companies can try to push something through, and eventually they may approve it because they don't fully understand that this is either common knowledge or it's prior work that they're using or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the issue that we're working with now, is that Unstoppable is trying to put a stranglehold on the industry and kind of like essentially be like the main Web3 domain provider, which we don't want. We want this to be an open, decentralized system.
Right, and whatever's chosen should be organic. And yeah, I noticed that too. I actually did have a .coin one back in the day, and then I logged out today to check it, and it was gone.
It's gone.
And I had a notification that said I got a credit. I'm like, why would I want a credit? Like, You know,
Yep, they just took it away for you. So I mean, that's not decentralization.
it's not unstoppable.
DecentraWeb is truly decentralized. Like,
Right.
you're minted. You mint your NFT. It's top level domain, a sub level domain. We can't do anything with it once you have it. It's in your wallet. You're in control of it. It's your private key. So that's one of the main differentiators between us and the other guys. Another differentiator is that we essentially allow users to become their own decentralized registrar. You can be your own decentralized GoDaddy. You can be your own ENS, and essentially stake your top level domains or your sub level domains, and then sell domains off of it. And it's all passive income. It's all handled passively by the smart contract. We have the templates and everything that you can set up where essentially you can like stake a domain and it automatically sets up like a nice template for you. So you can say, hey, go to this website, or we even have widgets now that you can plug into your website, and you could be like a Web3 domain registrar. So like say I set up .DecentraWeb or something like that. I can say, okay, anyone can come in here and they can register a .DecentraWeb sub-level domain, and you can choose to make it $0. You can choose to make it $1 million. And that's all handled passively through the smart contract, and you can earn income by essentially selling domains. So you can get domainers, you can get speculators, people who think that there's good Web3 domains that are currently available that people haven't registered yet. If you think that's a good domain, you can go ahead and stake those and allow users to come in and register subdomains on it. And you can even add like restrictions to this. You can have it public so anyone can come in. We added the ability recently for you to restrict who can register subdomains. So we call this private staking. So you could say, you can have a .fio domain, for instance, and you could say the only people who can register a .fio subdomain are people that hold 500 FIO tokens and they already have a FIO, wallet address or something like that. So it really allows customability and unity within your community.
So you could also token gate it with an NFT that maybe is either bought or distributed through only to certain people that are maybe the most active in a community, and then allow them that benefit. So you could token gate it that way as well.
Absolutely. So we've actually done this with a number of NFT projects. We did with Real Vision recently, Raoul Pal's company. You can customize the metadata and the art for the NFT, and really make it with your own logo, your own backgrounds, and we give you a full GUI essentially to make this, so that you can have your community with their own custom domains.
Awesome. That's a lot of stuff, man. I personally didn't even know about DWeb, and I've been following you for a while. So definitely good to learn, because there's so much out there, and I think people need to understand those differences. And there's also, I kind of had that premise. There's some others out there where there may be like, consider Web3 domains, but they're not really decentralized. They're not really open source, or like you mentioned with the lawsuits. I mean, they're not really focused on the ethos of this whole industry, where it should be open source, and available for everybody. Not let's gatekeep it again. Let's escape this I can gate it system, and let's go to
let's create our own again. Let's create another ICANN. We don't want that.
Yeah, right. And agreed. And that's the way it should be. I mean, and I tell people all the time, like, I don't advocate more. Obviously, I teach people about what we do, but I have a couple of DWeb domains, right? I've got an ENS domain. I had a couple of unstoppable domains. I think now I only have one because I had one of them was .coin. But but that's just where we are, and I can use them for different things in different places. So as we jump back into DecentraChat, I know the next thing that I think probably listeners may be curious about, I am as well, is a lot of the draw for, say, like Discord and Telegram are those other features outside of just messaging. I know having the group where you can move community chats in there as well too, but what other features are you guys looking at, or maybe have already implemented, in terms of, obviously, like Telegram right now, the biggest thing is those little micro games, little Telegram bot games within communities. What have you guys looked at in DecentraChat? I know you're early in the development, so I know some of it may be down on the list, but what can you talk about there?
Sure. So we have an upcoming release now that's going to support pinned messages, like your Telegram. So that's coming out very soon. We're actually implementing the ability to edit messages like you can in Signal. So that's coming up. We're implementing an API so people can start building bots and start building programs to interface and build programs that could come onto DecentraChat and interface with users or interface with groups. And then actually we're going to create the ability to have multiple profiles, much like you would have on like Twitter or Instagram. So you can have like your business profile, you can have a personal profile, you can have an anonymous, a pseudonymous profile, and flip flop back and forth between them. We're coming out with video chat and audio chat. So that's voice chat that's coming out as well. We really want to make this like the Web3 native replacement for Telegram and for Discord.
Right.
So a lot of the features that you see in Telegram, a lot of the features that you see in Discord, we're going to implement those and kind of put a Web3 spin on it.
Nice. That's exciting to hear, because that's one of the things, man. I'm tired of being so fragmented here, there, everywhere. It'd be great to have one spot where everything is. And you're right. Recently, I noticed I had, on Telegram, I had my phone number turned off from there, and then I went back in and it was activated, I guess, on one of the updates. I think that's when they.
Yeah, something that's scary to me.
Yeah.
Another thing I forgot to talk about is that we have full payment abilities through the apps. So you can instantly pay someone to their wallet address, to their ENS address, to their FIO address, to their DWeb address, all through the app. You can just click on a user, click pay. It automatically scans your wallet for what tokens are available. You just click, send, and then it even sends the user like an Etherscan transaction or a Polygon scan transaction. It'll say, hey, I just sent you, 15 Matic. Here's the Polygon scan link for it. And you can just click on it and see the transaction. So, we want DecentraChat to kind of be like a WeChat type of functionality, but for Web3, an all-encompassing app, where it's chat, it's pay, it's communication, voice, video, and maybe even some social features as well. Having profiles, being able to edit your profile. We really think it could be, like the takeover cure-all for Web3 and be essentially a WeChat Web3 version.
Yeah, that's a great feature, because you think about whether it's just, hey, you and I are chatting and I need to pay you for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to do payments, but I think like fan-based communities, like a musician that's just getting started or something like that, to where they can create a community within there, and then they can receive tips. They can, charge for certain things, for certain, hey, 50 minutes of my time for this amount, right? So you can, you can kind of gate that. So that's pretty good. And then tying in crypto wallets to where it's wallet to wallet is important too, because, hey, if you tip that musician in PayPal, what's happening? PayPal's
Yeah, exactly. They're taking a fee off of it. If you do it through like if you do that through like a credit card or something like that, there's a merchant fee.
Right.
If you do it through an in-app purchase, Apple's taking 30%, Google's taking 30%.
Exactly.
So be able to do this wallet to wallet direct transfers of crypto is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how big that could be. But when you said it, that's exactly where my mind went recently. I was just the other day, I was collecting a payment from someone for an event ticket that we had an extra one, and they couldn't make it, and it was a $500 ticket. And he, even though he's in Web3, he wanted to pay me in PayPal. I didn't even think about it, and I get it. And it's not 500; it's like 480 or 475.
Yeah. They take their 3%.
Yeah, 3% and then some. So, Adam, it's been great talking about DWeb and DecentraChat. Definitely want to encourage everybody, at least on my side, encourage everybody to check it out. Download DecentraChat. Go to DWeb and check them out. But as we wrap up, can you tell everybody where they can go to find information about Decentraweb, about DecentraChat, and follow what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're interested in DecentraChat, it's available for iOS, it's available for Android, Windows, Mac, Linux. It all syncs together, so you can install it on your phone, scan a QR code from your computer, and boom, everything's all synced together. You can get DecentraChat at decentra.chat, or just search for DecentraChat on the app stores. You can find it readily there. You can connect with us on DecentraWeb.org. That's how you'd register top-level domains and sub-level domains. Once you're logged in and connected with your wallet, you can do all the DNS functionality. You can stake your domains. You can privately stake them. And on DecentraWeb.org, you can find all of our socials on there too. So you can find our Twitter, you can find our Telegram. Although we're not really as active on Telegram and Discord, now everything we kind of chat about goes on in DecentraChat. So that's, I would say, is the main platform for communication for us now. And then if you want to connect with me directly, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter name's Adam Barlam.
Absolutely, man. So I would just suggest, in your Telegram group, just have a link anytime somebody joins a group. Link them out.
Yeah, like an auto message. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah. You want to go where the real action is? Go here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Adam, man, it's been a pleasure. I know it's been long overdue. Like I said, we've done a couple of podcasts over the years. Always follow what you do, but always like when you build stuff, it has true functionality. And really expanding what I knew about Decentraweb, because I know what I saw from following you, but really just digging in, asking those questions that I wanted to ask has really shown kind of what's out there, what you guys are building. So I would recommend, as he mentioned, where to follow Decentraweb and DecentraChat. Follow along, because it sounds like you guys are going to be dropping a lot of new features, a lot of updates, a lot of things that are coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time, Wayne.
Awesome. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.